I fucking loved this episode. However, it was maybe one of the saddest things I've ever watched in my life.
The whole episode was so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is excellent. I am so fascinated and impressed by how Mike Flanagan can somehow do the same thing differently every time.
Yeah. Because again, it's just a meditation.
Beautiful and dreadful.
Yeah. It's a meditation on grief and, inherited family trauma and religion and
addiction,
the effects that has.
What do we owe each other?
100%.
And he's grasping at such staggering implications and doing a very good job.
Yeah.
And this is definitely the kind of thing where I'm loving this. I can totally understand how someone else might not.
Yeah.
Because the show is assuming that we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And I am fascinated and intrigued by, and I have just the right amount of optimism and guilt wrapped into this subject matter that I can fill in the blanks. And there's just something so unbelievably dread-inducing watching them misinterpret, manipulate, watching,
especially Bev. She's making it work for her, but ugh.
And I mean, yeah, we're watching a show about like a Netflix show about a vampire on an island, but I'm just like, history is just seeping with this, with people misinterpreting and manipulating. There was, I think it's Susan B. Anthony. There was a quote that I love so much where it was just like, she said something about how she often, she distrusts those who know so strongly what it is God wants them to do because it so often coincides with their own personal
what
desires.
They want to do, And that feels very like what Bev is doing. Like that is Bev's whole deal, is like, this is what she wants. And she's getting more and more and more of this like iron gripped stranglehold on this town. And she doesn't care the cost that comes with it, and Riley absolutely cares about the cost. And
Father Paul, I guess, what are we calling him now?
He's the Monsignor. Yeah.
He is properly seduced. He is not, he's not capable of distinguishing what is actually happening.
Sure. And I think part of it is because it had been so long since he was in his right mind anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that was actually fascinating because Millie and Sarah went to church this week. And
I knew I liked Mildred.
Yeah. They left and she was like, she said to Sarah, I don't ever want you going back there again. That's not my church. That's not the man I knew. Absolutely not.
Because he was preparing them. I mean, I made a joke.
War.
But yeah, he was like, Clue, this is war, Peacock. Yeah. And I was like, and it happens
too.
It happens so stealthily. It happens so quickly and quietly and stealthily. And I also find fascinating the not clashing, but the conjunction or the insertion of the AA, the Serenity Prayer, the wisdom to know the difference. God grant me the and coinciding that, or what's the word I'm looking? I mean, I've explained myself, but like contrasting that against these masses.
Oh yeah,
is. Because he said all the words are there.
All the words are there, but that's the thing is like, well, he's not doing it. He's not actually doing the Serenity Prayer. No one else is looking at this past the surface level. No one else is like, well, what else might that they just literally are like, it's God. It's just making us better. And it's like, I'm sorry, you like Ed specifically, you had like debilitating back pain from being a lifelong crab fisherman or whatever. And then it just went away overnight and you're just kind of fine with that? I would be very suspicious.
Well, and again, like the
juxtaposition.
There you go. Yeah. Well, contrast work, because I was going to say contrasting the juxtaposition of addiction and religion is not necessarily novel or unique.
Yeah.
But he's doing it in a way where he's making us do it.
Yeah.
Like he's presenting us with information and it's up to us to sort of connect the dots. And he being Mike Flanagan. And I'm really, very fascinated by it. The series, especially in the middle, is bordering on farce.
Mm-hmm.
And it's managing to not cross fully into that territory.
And I'll say I think it's because we didn't see the vampire again in this episode. We saw him. I'm not convinced we're going to necessarily see him very much more. And I think it was very, it's in a very Shyamalanian kind of place because it's like you see the thing and then take the thing back away. Or like Jaws even. Like see the thing, take the thing away.
Way better.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are taking it so seriously.
Yeah. But that's what keeps it
doesn't give us doesn't give us an opportunity. Because I smirked, I like snickered a couple of times at like things, but then it just
Bev mostly. She is a piece of fucking work.
She's up here now. It's like she's doing this like entirely different.
Poor Sturge though. They're just like bleeding him.
It's dreadful.
It's horrible.
It's just
like how long before he starts asking for blood from the parishioners at midnight mass? That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like how long before that's the thing we're doing? And they are all getting into this like different sleep pattern now because they are all going to midnight mass. So I like kind of still think he's going to turn all of them. The seduction, the
addiction, and just the like, and there's something so bold and fascinating about the fact that they're even like anytime that they refer to the thing because they're referring to it as an angel. But they are all hesitating when they say that as if like they themselves are sort of like, they know it's not.
Yeah.
But they can't bring themselves
to admit that defeat. Yeah. It's shocking. But it's also God,
this episode astonished me. I don't know what it is with him and the fifth episode.
It always is the fifth episode, isn't it? Yeah. Because that's the one where it's
Hannah Gross and Bly Manor. It's the bent neck lady.
Yep. Oh God, I just got chills all over.
It's
like Game of Thrones in that second to last episode every season.
And I was blindsided by the end of this episode in a way that when you get there, there's no other way it could have been.
I got there like the seconds before, and then I was like, oh no, because the whole episode is essentially we pick up and we see Riley go to Erin's house, and it basically is like he takes her out on the boat in the water because she had done that to him right before she ran away, and he's like, I'm gonna tell you something, and you don't have to believe me. I just need you to listen. And so the whole episode is him explaining.
Their chemistry is fascinating.
So good.
It's borderline chaste. Like it's borderline, like they have good chemistry.
But it is like high school sweethearts again.
It's not sultry in the way that I feel like it could or so many people would do. And that's a fine take.
Well, it's very sweet. And she's
the innocence and the trust that really or the opposite of undermines, that really sort of solidifies.
Yeah. And she's very
the emotions
devout and he's not very devout. And so like they're coming at this from different places, but still from this place of like deep and abiding love for each other.
And he is just so broken by
yeah. Are you thinking about the end? Yeah.
So the whole time her name was Tabitha, the teenage girl.
Oh no, Tara Beth.
Yeah.
Close enough. Yeah. You're good. I see how you got there.
I didn't articulate it, but I was very fascinated by Tara Beth's presence in the early episodes because I understand,
especially because at a certain point he gets used to it, and at a certain point we just see him say hello to her when he's like trying to go to sleep at night, and that was fascinating to me too. So
I understood what we were seeing was a manifestation of his guilt, and deep in the back of my mind, I was like, well, this isn't fair either. Her soul deserves to be set free from this tango, from this like dance.
I don't think it was that. I think it was a manifestation only for him.
No, I know, but I said deep in the back of my mind, there was something where I was like, but this character that we didn't even meet.
Sure.
I mean, we meet her in death, deserves more than this. And I never in a million years thought we would get that. It's the kind of thing that I thought it was just me doing that like overanalyzing thing or whatever. And the moment where you realize that he is not going to, because I genuinely was like, is he going to attack Erin.
That's the thing. I was very shifty about that too. And then I was like, there's no way he can. Like, that's
because I was anticipating it, and I was even going to allow it, but it was going to be the moment that I looked back and went, that's where we lost it. That's where we lost 100%. What the show was supposed to be. And when you realize that he's not out there to hurt her, and her realization that A, she was potentially in trouble, and B, that most likely that was not the case, ergo something else.
Yeah.
And you could tell she understood. You could tell she understood that he was most likely not going to hurt her.
Yeah.
But then she couldn't she was like, the dread seeped in, but she didn't know what it was. And you could see her sort of negotiating with him, trying to talk him off of this proverbial ledge.
Yeah.
And we then realize that he's going to
meet the sun, essentially.
Yeah, to immolate himself.
Well,
again, religious.
Yeah, I loved that too, because he was like, I didn't bring you out here to scare you or to isolate you.
He was like, I want you to leave. I know you won't.
I know you won't leave. I want you to leave this island. I want you to take this rowboat to the mainland, and I want you to never come back and just run.
Because she does need to understand the stakes.
Oh, 100%. And then it was like,
and he refuses to actually make this deal with the devil that the rest of them are justifying.
Oh, 100%. Which I think that and then the following moment prove that he is actually a really good man.
And so to have Tara Beth be the one to greet him, to take him over the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah. Oh my God.
For me, it was like I deep down was desiring that from her character.
Yeah.
But I never in a million years thought we would get it.
No, I know. Me too. The whole time.
And the fact that she was smiling and so beautiful, and it was like this cosmic debt that they were entangled in 100%, has been
like a life debt kind of thing.
Yeah,
oh my
has
God.
been paid, has been.
And then the smash cut from that peaceful, beautiful moment back to just then Erin screaming because he's literally burning up and on fire in the boat, which is wooden, and I'm worried about her chances to get back to
She can
shore.
swim. It's fine. And she probably that water is probably thigh deep.
Ew.
Just slosh of you.
It's just dead cats to the bottom.
But no, I just meant it was a very gentle lap on the beach.
Oh, I see.
I mean, it was probably not. What a weird.
No, but absolutely lovely ending. It was a punch to the chest. It really was, and I am sad now to not have Zach Gilford for the last 2 episodes, but that was a way better,
far superior
for him than just getting eaten. And I mean, the full circle journey we went with him, and like him finally finding grace in this tragic
because there's
moment
that where you're trying to figure out what precisely he's going to do, because he goes and watches his parents and
his brother,
and at first you're like, is he contemplating preying on them? Which I mean, possibly,
because he can see their heartbeats in their necks, and
but he's also
all the glowing. But
he's also saying, also typical Mike Flanagan to really club us over the head with the horror dread, give us a glimpse of beauty, and then take it away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm
pretty astonished.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to expect from the next 2.
I'm curious Erin is obviously going to try to help everybody, try to figure something out.
I'm kind of on his side. She should just row.
She should absolutely just row away, but she's gonna try to save at least a couple people. I think she's gonna try to like get some reasonable people, probably the doctor. But I have this feeling that they're just all going to die. And then everybody that, I mean, I don't know, maybe the good guys will win. He does have a habit of doing like a really uplifting ending, but I don't know.
I was actively trying to avoid taking in information about this, but as is typical when it's so fascinating, I sort of, like last night, I kind of wanted to keep consuming information about it.
Yeah.
And so I did a good job. I didn't see spoilers, but I basically saw a slew of really positive stuff, and then sort of like a wave of sort of not negative, but like backhanded. And so I'm at a very 50-50 place where I've seen equal parts good and bad. So now I'm sort of like, judging on who we are as people and our previous work with him, we will probably like this.
Yeah.
We like the final episode of Lost, so... there's plenty to say about that series, good and bad, but I'm like,
the finale of Lost is great, and if you don't think so, that's
it's a beautiful
fine.
finale. It's maybe not a great finale for the show we watched for 6 seasons, but it's a beautiful finale.
Sure.
Like,
I just don't have any kind of issue with it the way that a lot of people do. And I just think if you don't like it, that's fine. I definitely wanted more answers to questions. I have mentioned previously, maybe not on this, but I think on the Buffy podcast that I do with Trevor, that like, if I ever get Damon Lindelof in a room alone, he's going to tell me about the four-toed statue because I can't handle it. But
17th of all.
But I just definitely, I mean, I already love this. It's doing a lot, and I don't necessarily think I'd be able to watch this more than once like I could with Hill House and Bly Manor, but
I'll never recreate
the first experience of watching this.
The flutter and then just heart sink.
Yeah, oh my God.
But yeah, round of applause, especially Mike, Zach Gilford, Kate Siegel, and whoever Tara Beth was.
Yeah,
that was really, really something.
I've said it a couple times already. I love Zach Gilford. I've seen him on a bunch of stuff, but obviously my introduction was Friday Night Lights, where he plays a very similarly emotionally conflicted character for most of the run. There's one episode specifically that I keep going back to, and if you've seen Friday Night Lights, you know the one I'm talking about. I'm just astounded with his work in this, and I hope that this means that he is going to be a Mike Flanagan regular, because I think he's really good at directing people too, which is really, I'm so impressed all the way around. And obviously Kate Siegel is something special, and I don't even care if it's nepotism that he puts her in all his stuff, because he gets really good work out of her, so it works for me.